Grade 12 students, SE. I'm your English teacher, Mrs. Dima Abdel Samad. You will see in this week's assignment, we have two recordings which talks about Unit 11. Unit 11, actually, it is the last unit in the book, and it's a very important one. It talks about the historical highlights. The content of this recording is going to be divided into look at some important historical places in Lebanon, because the unit talks about historical highlights in general. Give background information about Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombing, because lesson 1 is about Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombing. Shed light on the story of a person who survived the two bombings and died because of cancer. Explain how that man decided to continue his life. First of all, before we start discussing the text, I'm going to shed light on the historical places in Lebanon. I've taken actually the most important historical places. We have Jayta Grotto, we have churches of Harissa, we have Beit el-Din, Deir el-Qamar, Castle of Tyre, Byblos. We have many places in Lebanon which we consider important and which reflect the history of Lebanon, from the Phoenicians to the Romans to the Eastern cultures. It's an amazing place in the mountain. I really love it. I'm talking about the Jayta Grotto. It's a natural two separate grottos, very big, about 9 kilometers, but you cannot see all of it because some places it's very tight. We see the upper one only. I'm taking some quotations said about the Jayta Grotto. The site features the cable car, not necessary. You can walk up to the upper cave, a fun train ride, and a mini zoo featuring bunnies, goat, and so on. The second one, which is Churches of Harissa. It's a very peaceful place. You can visit the church and go up to the statue of Saint Mary. After that, you can visit the gift shop, which has lots of items that can be taken away as gifts from Lebanon to other countries. In Harissa, you can have a religious visit while also enjoying the breathtaking views overlooking Tujuni Bay. And if the weather is good, you can also see Beirut city. So these are some of the most important places in Lebanon. To continue with the important historical places in Lebanon, we have Beit el-Din. To be frank, the Ottoman Era palaces that you can see in Turkey are much grander, but this still does impress, and the carvings, either in stone or in marble, or in the wood paneling of most rooms, that are really very beautiful. So if you go to Beit el-Din, you can see a castle that cannot be compared. It's unique, it's amazing. It's an amazing access around the old palace with interesting history and how the different rooms were or are used, including the old spa, Majel estate rooms, and etc. The Cedars of God. Around the Cedar Forest Reserve, you see sunny skies, bright snow-capped mountains, and souvenir shops where amazing artisans can personalize souvenirs through a torch-like instrument. This is actually Beit el-Din. You can see here in this small picture some of the rooms inside the castle, which reflect the beauty and the history of that culture and the history of Lebanon. Actually, this is also here a picture of Beit el-Din. We have also Baalbek's castle. I'm just shedding light on different historical places in Lebanon. We have Harissa and the church next to Harissa. This is also a church in Lebanon that is considered one of the most historical places in Lebanon. After discussing some of the historical places, I want you to choose one historical place in Lebanon and to talk about it, about its history and why it is considered an important historical site in Lebanon. To move to lesson 1 in Unit 11, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. This is a photo that shows the Hiroshima bombing. This is a photo that shows the destruction after the bombing. The bombs immediately devastated their targets. Over the next 2 to 4 months, the acute effects of the atomic bombings killed between 90,000 to 146,000 people in Hiroshima and 39,000 and 80,000 people in Nagasaki. Roughly half of the deaths in each city occurred on the first day. 3 days after the United States dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima, a second atomic bomb was dropped on Nagasaki, actually. On August 9, a 21-kiloton plutonium device known as Fat Man. On that day of the bombing, an estimated 263,000 were in Nagasaki, including 240,000 Japanese residents, 9,000 Japanese soldiers, and so on. So I can give you a general information or background information about the two bombings just to let you know how dangerous these two bombings were, how disastrous they were, and the dangerous effects that they had led to. To move to the book, The Man Who Survived Two Nuclear Bombs Attacks, in paragraph 1, the introductory paragraph shows the end of the story. This is called actually Flashback. When we start with the end of the story about the man who died because of stomach cancer, and then we go back to the story to narrate the events that had taken place or that had happened in the story. This is Flashback. The story starts with the idea that Tsutomi died from stomach cancer, and then it narrates what had happened to him. Paragraphs 2 through 5. What was the event that had dramatically made him under the bomb? Actually, he forgot his permit pass, which obliged him to go back while his friends continued their way. What were the effects of the first bomb? Temporal blindness, eardrum rupturing, and burns over much of his upper body. Then, what was the sign that shows the negative effects of the bomb? When he said that he slept in the tent, this actually shows that everything was completely destroyed and the city was completely damaged. In paragraph 5, what was surprising to the boss, he couldn't imagine actually how the bomb destroyed the whole city. What happened with him while he was talking to his boss? Actually, he experienced another bomb because another bomb attacked. He thought it was the same bomb following him from Hiroshima, but he soon realized that it was another one. Thank you.